The New England men's football manager will be the former Chelsea boss Thomas Tuchel.
Was England's 2026 World Cup campaign a failure or a success? Well, that's completely up for you to decide. The time that Thomas Tuchel was hired for the England job, I knew he was going to do well. From coaching clubs such as Borussia Dortmund, Paris Saint-Germain, and Chelsea, where he won the UCL, the experience he would bring would be immense. And walking into the World Cup, England had won all their friendlies, although it was against weaker opposition. And there was genuine hype behind the team. It wasn't like previous years where team selections felt like just selecting a bunch of great players with no real system or style under Southgate to actual proper team selection. Choosing not to bring Cole Palmer and Trent Alexander-Arnold made me realize that he was serious. These two, especially Trent Alexander-Arnold, were like this.
He was whipping up shit in a kettle, boiling shit.
Actual shit? Like
boiling poo in a kettle. Bro, the smell. Mike's the smell.
He was boiling shit
in a kettle, bro.
Throughout the entire season and did not deserve to go to the World Cup. However, the majority believed they should based off of their performance for the national team. But it was Tuchel who decided not to bring them. Now, their performances in the group stages were pretty good, with a 4-2 win over Croatia and a 2-0 win over Panama, with a 0-0 draw against Ghana. Very tight match, with the Ghana defenders playing out of their skin, and on to the round
32,
with England facing the Democratic Republic of Congo. Most were expecting an easy game, but DR Congo didn't come to mess about, scoring in the 7th minute through Ryan Simpenga, and that's how it stayed until the 75th minute where Harry Kane scored to start the comeback, and then in the 86th minute to seal the comeback. On to round 16, where England faced Mexico, and at first it seemed like England had calmly taken control of the match with goals from Jude Bellingham, laid on with Mexico reducing the deficit to 1 goal just before halftime from Quiñones. The second half was a completely different story, as early on, Gerald Kwanzaa got himself a red card, so England were now down to 10 men, and an attacker had to come off for a defender, so Bukayo Saka was subbed off for John Stones. A few minutes later, a penalty was awarded to England, which Harry Kane converted. A couple minutes later,
Harry Kane
decides it's time to return the favor and gives the penalty over to Mexico, which Raul Jimenez calmly converts. Now around the 75th minute, changes were made, with Dead Spence coming on for Nico O'Reilly, and wait, Dan Burn on for Elliot Anderson? I want you to keep this in mind for later. And that's how it ended, with a very tense 3-2 victory for England. Momentum was building. On to the quarterfinals, where England faced Norway. There was going to be one to watch, as Norway, who were the actual dark horses of this tournament, had knocked out favorites Brazil in their previous game, so it was going to be tough. And tough it was, as just before halftime, Andreas Schjelderup unleashed his inner Van Bronckhorst and scored an absolute screamer to get Norway ahead. But the enjoyment was short-lived, as England made sure Norway paid for not taking advantage of their missed opportunities, with Jude Bellingham scoring from close range to level the game. There was a bit of hope for Norway, as
Torbjørn Heggen
scored a header, but it was ruled offside, and the game dragged to extra time, as where just it began, Jude Bellingham scored once more to give England the lead, and the match ended 2-1 for England. On to the semifinals, where England faced Argentina, in what was going to be the match that decided who reached the final, and a rematch for England from
1986
World Cup, with Diego Maradona having his hand of God moment. Now, the first half ended in a stalemate, but then the second half became much more lively, with England getting on the front foot with their attacks, and they eventually pulled forward in the 55th minute, with Morgan Rogers delivering a stunning cross into the box for Anthony Gordon to tap away from close range. Now, you would think that England would build off of this, but rather they did the opposite, by bringing on 3 defensive players in the span of 10 minutes. Now, there are no problem with going defensive, but when your team is only 1 goal up and your opponent is known for making late comebacks, it would be advisable not to pull that move, and it was only the 72nd minute. This proved to be costly, with Argentina getting more of the ball and were able to roam freely, and with the magic of Messi equalizing through Enzo Fernandez and getting the lead through Lautaro Martinez. And that's how it ended for England. Now, you could argue that some of the blame could be put on Tuchel or on the players, but at the end of it all, this team fought for something way greater, and you could feel the unity and togetherness that the squad had. But now, for a little story. I'm sitting near a lake recording this, so you can probably hear the water in the background. Back to the video. Now, for some context, I've been talking to this one girl for over 4 years now at this point. And over the past year or so, I had developed feelings for her. Now, through our little conversations that we had and things, I thought there was something there. So I decided to, shoot my shot, go for it, And I got rejected. And I can remember that day, because that day, it was a Friday. So like I had to go through like the rest of the day, because I asked her out in like the morning, and I had to go through the rest of the day kind of just like sitting with my own like decision really. But I wasn't like pissed off about it, and I wasn't like deeply saddened about it either. Like I was just in my head. I was just being really reflective, you know, like I was thinking about all the interactions we had, like, you know, was she really seeing the signs? And I came to the conclusion at like 3 a.m. on a Saturday morning, you know, not even a Saturday morning, like a Sunday morning, like 3 a.m. on a Sunday morning, I'm watching the 24 Hours of Nürburgring, and I'm sitting there and I'm like, yeah, no, this girl never liked me to begin with. You know, she was just friendly. I kind of just took that and I was like, all right. You know, I didn't beat myself up with it longer than it should have. I kind of just like, you know, I took it as a learning point, and I continued to grow from it, you know? Like, I didn't just let it like affect me and sit there for weeks and weeks on end. That weekend, I thought about it for a little bit. Monday rolled around, school began. Dude, I was back on the grind. I think I had probably one of the best like 4 weeks of school ever, you know? Like from that point until the end of school, like I was on like the best possible moments all the time. Like it wasn't like every single day, like I was always 100%, but majority of the days I was feeling pretty good and feeling pretty confident, you know? And that's the thing. At the end of the day, I didn't let it affect me longer than it should have. I didn't let it stick on me longer than I should have to, you know? I let it sit, yeah, but eventually I got myself over that hurdle, and I didn't let it affect the people around me longer than it should have. I thank a lot of my friends for helping me out to get through that, you know, like just to talk about it even at the end of the day was a great gesture from them. And, you know, at the end of the day, just always make sure that failure isn't the end. Like not getting what you want isn't the end goal, because even then I didn't get what I wanted. Okay, we continue. Life continues, life rolls, and it keeps going. It's not gonna stop, you know? So knowing that and always having to push through that, always having to persevere through that is always a great experience to have. So yeah. Now, how do these two things connect to one another? It's how you want to respond to failure, because you can let it define you and become a part of you, or you can confront it, tackle it, move past it, and become an even better person out of it. At the end of it all, who knows what would have happened if the girl said yes? Who knows what would have happened if England made the final? They would have definitely put up a better fight than Argentina, though. But it's how you move forward from failure, because when you shift your mind from, oh, I failed, to, oh, what's next, or what could have I improved on, that's where the growth lies. That's all from me today. Peace out. And if you like this type of content, subscribe for more.
Get enough, we stay all day, all night, living in paradise. Remember you